a very warm welcome to you today. It is Wednesday, which is a little bit unusual, but is going to be the new norm. So you got me on Mondays and Wednesdays going forward. Weather here is miserable. It is wet. It is just summer's done. It's just gone. I didn't know what to put the little one in today. It's his first day in PE. So I had all his shorts ready to go. And then this morning we both decided let's do pants instead. So I hope you're okay. Please drop me a comment if you're watching. Where are you watching from? What have you been up to? What's the weather like? Today I'm going to show you how to do some little stitch beaded bracelets. I've called them Samira, using some little pearls and some size 11 Toho seed beads. Very pretty, 4 lovely colours, and it's fairly straightforward. You can change up this design and you can add to the design as well. If I can do it, you can definitely do it. Let's hope I can do it. Let's hope I remember what I'm doing. It's been a little while since I put them together, and as soon as I do something else, I'm like, how did that go? So bear with me. I hope you're well. Good morning to Rachel. She says she's in a sunny Barrow. So, okay. Well, good for you, because it's miserable here. Jan says, good morning to myself and to the Beading family. She's in an overcast Sudbury. Camille's in as well. She's got blue skies. She says, how are you doing today? I'm not too bad. A little bit tired. Lots going on at home. So I'm struggling at the best of times to remember what day of the week it is. But yeah, no Frank now. He's back at school, so a little bit of routine should surely follow soon. Good morning to Anne. She says, good morning, Natalie and everybody. And Shirley is in as well, wishing us all a good morning. Suzanne is in as well. Good morning to Susan. I hope you're well. You've got a lovely profile picture. Is that Daredle Door? Is that how you pronounce it? Somewhere I've always wanted to go but not gone. So it looks like we're streaming on everything that we're meant to. I did have a few technical issues this morning, but hopefully the sound is okay, the picture's okay, and you'll see what I'm doing nice and clearly. So I'm going to take you over to the website now. While I'm there, have a little look at anything you like, and let me know on these bracelets which colours you like as well. Good morning to Elaine. I hope you're okay. So we're going to head over as usual to totalybeads.co.uk. I'm going to head into the jewellery tutorial section here. You can go into the Learn to Make Jewellery, as you know, and find there as well. And this is just some of our recent makes. Today is the Samira bracelet, so it looks like this. So we've got 4 lovely colours for you to choose from. I've got an ivory, an olive, a turquoise and a wisteria, and each kit will make up 3 bracelets. So you can make up your 3 bracelets, or if you wanted to, you could make this into a necklace. I think that would 3 bracelets should be enough for a necklace. But we've put them together as little bracelets for you today. The only additional thing you're going to need is your needle and thread, which you can also get off the website. I'm going to demo today in the turquoise because I think it's nice and bright and it should show up clearly on the screen for you so you can see what I'm doing. So 3 bracelets in either ivory, olive, turquoise or wisteria. And they are £5.50 for each kit, which I think for 3 bracelets is very good value for money. So I'll show you what we're using and what you get in your kit. This is the ivory one. So I'm just using the pearls and the seed beads. You can, if you want, see this little detail I've got here with the seed beads that kind of loop into a little 3. You could do that on the same, on the opposite side with the pearls as well. If you wanted to make that extra detail in the design, you absolutely could do that, or you could position it so all your pearls run on the inside or the outside. This I've tried to do a little bit kind of loopy, a bit wibbly wobbly. So I'm using the Toho size 11s. You're going to get your pearls in there and your lovely magnetic clasp as well, which is spotted. So if you want to see the details, the pearls I'm using are 4mm. I'm using the frosted rosaline seed beads, I think, for it's called for the little kind of main body of it really. It kind of runs through like a little wiggly line, and then you've got that magnetic spotted clasp, which is very, very lovely, silver plated, and it is 8mm in size. So if you want to get any extras of those, you can find them at the bottom, but if you buy this kit, you're going to get enough to make 3, and if you want to add your needle and thread, you can usually add that on just here. So underneath the price of £5.50, you can add a needle and thread if you need to, and that's just £1.75. So one needle and thread would do all 3 bracelets and a whole lot more. So that one is the ivory colourway. We've got the olive, which is very, very lovely, very autumnal. Again, the size 11s, the size 4 pearls, and your magnetic clasp. This time your magnetic clasp is going to be in the gold colour, and I think it looks really lovely with those kind of silver lined olivine and olive beads. So that one there is your olive. We've got the turquoise as well, which is what I'm going to demo for you today. So you can have a little scroll down there and you can see that we're using the, sorry, did I say olive? It's clearly turquoise and aqua, isn't it? Did I say olive? I think I did. My mind's elsewhere. I do apologise. I'll say lots going on at home today. So this is the turquoise colourway, and I think that looks gorgeous with the gold. I do really love that colour. And then we've got the wisteria, which is this gorgeous purple as well. So you can see here there's quite contrast between those seed beads, because I'm using that kind of rainbow frosted colour, but I think it looks particularly beautiful. That's with the rhodium clasp. So you've got your kind of golds, your silvers, or your kind of rhodium colour. So let me know in the comments, out of those 4, do you have a favourite? Is there a different colourway that you might want to do instead, but using this design? You can always check the website. All you'd need is some size 11 seed beads and whatever coloured size 4mm pearls you like, and you could always change that up. You can again always change the design up as well. So you might think, actually I'd like to do it like this, I'd like to do the same design but using a different method. Do what works for you. This is just a little bit of inspiration for you, hopefully. So let me see who we've got in. I've said good morning to Susan. Elaine, good morning to you. Shirley says it's still raining in Florida, sunny South Florida. Lol. Honestly, it's miserable, and I can't eat, even when it's warm, it's wet, and I can't have the back door open because, well, last night we did, and little frog, well, he wasn't that little actually, he was quite big. Little frog came through the back door in the kitchen, and much to my husband's dismay, because he's not a big fan of frogs. He deals with the spiders, and I sort the frogs. So we popped him back outside, and then I closed the door, and then a little bit later I opened the back door again, just not thinking, just to get some kind of air like circulating through the house, and there he was back in again. I was like, get back out. So I nearly had a new pet. Jan says, nice to see you on a Wednesday. Thanks, Jan. I'll get used to it eventually. Good morning, Edward. Hello to Anastasia, wishing you peace and love as well. Good morning to Mina, who says, beautiful design of bracelets. Thanks very much, Mina. Yeah, hopefully I'll remember what I'm doing. Good morning to Tracy. Hello to Camille, who's saying needle and thread. Yeah, I know. Don't jinx me. Oh, Carol says you're not on Facebook again. Well, it's showing that I am, and I'm getting comments through Facebook, and I added Facebook this morning. But you never know, Carol. You never know what it's going to do. Good morning to Catherine. I hope you're well. And good morning to Judith as well. Right, let me take you down onto the mat. We'll get going. I probably won't, I'll make the full thing. I'll go through all the steps, but I might not make a full length one just in regards to time, because I'm a little bit slower with a needle and thread, as you may notice. So you've got your 4 colours. You've got your ivory, you've got the olive, you've got this lovely kind of purpley coloured one, and kind of like the wisteria colours. It's really, really pretty. And then you've got your kind of turquoisey teal as well. Let me just close that little memory off. Hello to MD Chand, I hope you're well. Anne says she's on Facebook and Camille's finding us on Facebook as well. So maybe refresh if that's the case, Carol, because sometimes it's just a little bit temperamental. Camille says all the colours are nice. Obviously, your ivories tend to kind of shout wedding jewellery, don't they? You can see it's a really, really straightforward design to do. If I can do it, and I'm hoping I can, then anybody can. You could also place these if you wanted, as I say, so all your pearls kind of run on the same side. I've done it kind of wibbly wobbly, swapping over. And if you wanted to, you could add an additional seed bead here. So if I pick up this lovely olive one, you'll see I've put a little cluster of the 3 seed beads. You could add an extra 2 onto this side as well if you wanted, and create those additional kind of little embellishments. But you can see they just run really pretty and they're very comfortable to wear. I have included enough in your kit to make, I think it's an 8-inch one, but I have made some of the samples up a little bit smaller, just so maybe, you know, I can keep it. So this one is your ivory, nice easy connection with your magnetic clasp. It sits very delicately and lightweight. It's very, very pretty. Good morning, Sally says. Morning, Natalie. Hope you're well. Not been watching for a while. As being bead stitching. A picture for my friend, all done now, and Facebook's okay with her. What's your picture, Sally? Are we allowed to know, or is it a surprise for your friend? Mina saying, better go find my 4mm bundle of pearls. And this one is the wisteria. So you can see I've got those kind of frosted seed beads there, which does add a little bit of contrast, but I think they go beautiful together. Again, nice, easy to open and to close clasp, which is always good. Doesn't have to be fiddly when you're putting your jewellery on. And this one, which is it's too big for me because I've made this kind of true to size, is the lovely teal one. So you will notice occasionally those beads do kind of flop around, but I suppose that depends on, you know, the tension that you use. And I'm going to run back through with my thread and follow that beading path as well, so you can kind of tighten it up a little bit that way. Okay, so let's get started. Good morning, Jackie. So I'm going to use a fine beading needle and my thread. I'm going for this lovely kind of teal coloured thread because it's matching perfectly with my seed beads. So I'm just going to pour a load of seed beads out, really. We can pour some more out as we go. So I'm using the 4mm pearls. And I'm using the size 11 seed beads. Thanks, Anastasia, says all the colours are beautiful. And the amount of thread I'm using, it's a full arm span, so it's about 1 metre. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by picking up 3 of my seed beads. And I'm going to take them down towards the end of my thread. Now you can go back through and make a little kind of stopper bead on this. You can do lots of different ways to attach your clasp, but because I'm going to keep running back through this, I'm going to tighten it up at the end. So I'm going to just do a little surgeon's knot rather than at the end I'll do a half hitch knot and then I'll bring it back through. But to start off, I'm just going to separate my magnetic clasp. I'm just going to take 1/2 and I'm going to add that on as well. Bring that down towards the end. And then I'm going to add another 3 seed beads. And then I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot. So I'm going to go over one side and bring my needle back through and just pull that down. And then I'm going to bring the other tail and I'm going to go through that twice. So 1 loop and then another loop. And you won't be able to see that at all because they'd be covered by the seed beads. And if you want, you can do one for good luck. But I am, as I say, going to go back through this to kind of strengthen that as well. Once I've created that little loop, which is going to attach my clasp, I'm just going to come in with my scissors or my cutters, and I'm just going to cut the little tail end. And then I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to run it back through all of those seed beads. And that will just give it a little bit more of a rounded shape as well. So I'm just going to come back out the top where it started. And then I've attached my clasp. Hopefully you can see okay. The picture is of a stork flying over grassland and is a gift as she's going back home to SA. Is that South Africa? Oh, Sally, that sounds really beautiful. Yeah, Camille says your friend's going to love it. I'm sure they will. So I've made my little loop to go onto my clasp. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to add 7 of my seed beads. So I'm picking up 7 and drop that right down. And then I'm going to pick up 1 pearl. Do it this way so you can see what I'm popping on my needle. 1 seed bead and 1 pearl. So 7 seed beads and then pearl, seed bead, pearl. And then what I'm going to do is that very first of the 7, hopefully you can see, I have got my camera right under my eyes, but I can't zoom in, so I'll pick it up for now. So this first one here, which came out the loop, the first of that 7, I'm just going to go back through, and I'm going to go through 4 of those seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what I'm also going to do, because I don't want to get caught into a little tangle, is just to get my tension right and get it close. I'm just going to pop my finger on that, close to that loop. So that will form that little loop there. I'm then going to pick up 3 more seed beads. And I'm going to go back through that 4th one that I've just come out. So if I can hold that up so you can see. So 7 seed beads, and then I've added on my pearl, my seed bead, my pearl, coming back through that very first one, up through the 4. And then I'm going to go, after I've added those 3 on, I'm going to go back through that 4th one, just the 4th one for now. And as I bring that round, that will create that little cluster on the side. I'm then going to take the thread back through the next 3. So I've come out the 4th one. Hope I'm explaining this well. And I'm just going to go back through that 3 so I come out by that pearl. Now, as I say, as I'm going to run back through all this, it should tighten up nicely as well. But I will have then, if I can pick this up, have created that first little section. And now I'm just going to repeat that. So I'm going to pick up another 7 seed beads, just tighten that down if need be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to add a pearl. A seed bead and a pearl. Just showing you for now on my needle what I'm picking up. Thanks, Jan. You're doing all right. And then where I've exited and added that first 7 on, I'm going to go back through 4. I do like to turn my work around when I'm doing it, but it's dead difficult when I've got this lamp right under my face holding my camera. 1, 2, 3, out the 4th one. Just position those seed beads down, and then as I bring that over, I should get the tension right. That will sit that way. Picking up 3. Going back through the 4th that I exited. You can just go back through the pearl or towards that pearl, but I create that little loop first just so you can see. And then back along those 3 to come out towards the pearl. I do find that I pick up as I've started to make it. I like to hold it with my fingers. I find I struggle to make if I'm laying flat on the desk. But what's funny is if I'm wire working, when I'm setting my cab, I need to have it flat on a desk. Okay. I know Camille says my nails are really long. They're getting too long, to be honest. I've took any of my colours and stuff off and just put like a little clear nail varnish on. But what I noticed as I painted them, obviously I use cheap nail varnish, but I painted them the other week, a bit like this colour actually, like a teal, and I'd smudged 2 of them. So I took it off and then redid it, but I didn't put the base coat on, and it's stained the nails. I've not put the base coat on, if you can see that, which is gross. So I'll have to paint over them so you can't see. But yeah, they're getting a little bit too long, I think, at the minute. I suppose it depends what I'm doing. So 7 seed beads. And then a pearl, seed bead, and a pearl. Coming back through the first of the 7 that I've put on and out the 4th. Try and do it down on the mat, but I just want to pick it up. Adding on 3. Back through that 4th one that the thread exits, and around through the other seed beads to the last one that sits next to the pearl. So you can see I'm just going to keep repeating that pattern. It won't take long if you're not me to see that start to kind of grow essentially. I'm just going to give that a little pull so you can see that little wiggly line is starting to form. Camille says yellow is bad for staining your nails, especially if you forgot the base coat. It wasn't yellow, it's like it was like a teal colour, like maybe kind of minty colour. But yeah, not a look that really is favourable when your hands are on on show. But I like to point out my flaws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm just going to keep repeating that pattern. Say I like to point out my flaws, would be here all day. I've got quite a lot of them. Nobody's perfect. So 4mm bead, seed bead, 4mm bead. Always put on a layer base coat on your nails before the real colour. I know, I learned that. Well, I did, but then these two had smudged. So, because I'd done like a design on them and I thought, oh, they look a mess. So I took it off and then I hadn't put the base coat back on because I was in a rush and being impatient. So I just put the colour, reapplied the colour, and then obviously it was only when I came to take them all off and took the colour off it all that I realised that it's still staying. And I wouldn't mind, I've had numerous like nail varnish removers on those fingers because it was a good couple of weeks ago, and I've painted over them and I've took that one off and I've repainted and taken it off and it's still there. So 7, coming out the 4th, picking up 3, back through the 4th. So I say I don't think I'm going to do the full length bracelet because it's just repeating this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I don't know how exciting that is to watch, but once you've got the method down. So if you wanted to, when you're putting your seed bead on in between your pearls, you could also do a little loop on that, and you could do that as you're working through it, or when you work your thread back through, you could add them if you wanted to as well. So 7 seed beads, adding on my pearl, get some more out. Oh, okay, I've heard of that one, Anastasia. I might look into that. Oh, no, it was Sally Hansen, I think, no, Hines. I don't know, but I will, I should really invest in my nails because I've got to take care of my hands. They're my bread and butter. Okay, so on the one where it exits, just moving that up a little bit so I can make sure I'm coming in through the right one. I'm going to go through 4. I wonder whether I should have tried to move my camera down a little bit today so you can get a bit closer to the mat. Picking up 3. Going back through the 4th and all of those next 3 to exit next to the pearl. So I tend to just put my finger over the top. I know that probably doesn't help because you can't see, but what that does is it just keeps those seed beads close down to create that kind of wiggly path in the middle. And then as I pull it, it should tighten up around that pearl. Tracy says, I'm like this with wire work. I am slower and it feels fiddly. We'll get better with practice. Well, this is me, isn't it, with a needle and thread. I don't think I'd be as slow as, say, if I was just using like nylon thread. I would just be using my fingers usually with it, and I'm quicker, but I don't know. I think it's my confidence more than anything. The more you do of something, the more confident you get. Like sometimes I'll do a wire work piece and that doesn't always go to plan either, but I feel comfortable with that learning curve. Whereas when this doesn't go right, I'm just like, oh, I'm a failure. I've just not practiced. Thanks, Camille. So let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll do a couple more of these and then we'll start tying off and running back through, I suppose. So pearl, seed bead, pearl. So say you could do this if you've got 3 bracelets in your kit. You could technically, I suppose, make a nice necklace with this if you prefer. I suppose you could even do them as like little earrings as well. Coming back through 4. I don't know, I feel like I just need to kind of concentrate a little bit more because it's like counting and checking I'm coming in and out the right place. And then 3 seed beads. Let's make that little loop on the other side. And the good thing about your Toho seed beads is they all tend to be fairly uniform in size and shape. Sometimes if you're using kind of craft seed beads, they're a little bit more irregular. There you go. So you can see it's growing already. Tracy says, sorry, Natalie, I'm not saying you're slow with this. You're a great teacher. No offence taken whatsoever, Tracy. I am slow with it. But then when I'm doing a live anyway, I always go slower because there'll be people watching who'll be like, expert stitch beaders and will be thinking this is probably painfully slow. But other people who might be like me or completely new to starting out and, sometimes you watch a tutorial and they don't necessarily show you how to attach the clasp, and I want to try and break it down as much as I can. Same with wire work. I'm really, I think, quite quick when I'm rapping, not like rapping, singing, like wire rapping. Don't get me to rap. I'm not spitting lyrics. But again, I will always go slower with that just to make sure that everyone can follow along. Hello, Phoenix Creations. Long time no see. How you doing? She's just heading out the door to walk, Meg, and realised I was in live time, so I thought I'd say hi. Hello, my love. I'm here on a Wednesday now. What else have I missed in the comments? Alison saying, if you make this design into a necklace, would you add 2 seed beads between the 4mm pearls? You could do. You wouldn't have to, I don't think, Alison, but you absolutely could do. You could try it. You could change up this design in lots of different ways. Do whatever suits you. Thank you, Sally. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Diane. Diane says, you're doing great. Never thought I'd see you with a needle and thread. I've done a few needle and thread makes, Diane. I have. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take one off. Yeah, the thing is, sometimes I'll do a needle and thread make and I just won't include the needle and the thread. But it should be a needle and thread make. But I have done a couple. I don't know. Sometimes I just think, oh, like it might be nice to try something a little bit different, because if you can, and obviously you can always catch up on the tutorials, but if you can, maybe only watch on certain days or whatever, you don't always want to see the same thing over and over again. So even though you could use the same method in lots of different designs, you might not want to do wire work, or you might not want to wrap loops or whatever it is. So 7 seed beads, pearl, seed bead, pearl. I'm going to go back through the first one of the 7 that I added on into this little section, and I'm just going to come out through the 4th. Tighten that up a little bit by giving it a little smush with my finger, which is clearly the technical term in the stitching world because I'm so accomplished now. Give a little smush. Then I'm picking up 3 seed beads. And I'm going to go back through the 4th one that I've exited and through the next 3. So I'm coming out, make sure I'm going through all of them. So now I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to come out just by that pearl. So I'm going to continue to work along that. If you find it gets a little bit gappy in a place, you can, again, give it a little smush, and that will tighten up that tension. But I am going to run back through this when I get to the end, and that will enable me to kind of make it a little bit tighter and sit a little bit better. I'll do one more and then we'll finish that off. So 7 seed beads. Oh, that one doesn't want to go on. Picking up a pearl, a seed bead, and a pearl. Coming back up through the first 4 in that section. Oh, don't tangle on me now. And then picking up 3 of my seed beads. Coming back through the one that I've come out of. So I'll be technically going through those last 4 seed beads and exiting next to the pearl. Okay, so you're just going to keep going with that until you've got the length that you're after. And then when I've added that last loop, I'm just going to do similar to what I did at the beginning. So I'm going to add on 3 of my seed beads. This is going to be a teeny tiny bracelet. So 3 seed beads. I'm adding the other half of my clasp. Do make sure when you're doing this, you've got your kit is going to make 3 bracelets. So what I would do is I would get just one clasp out on the table. What you don't want to do is find that because they're magnetic, you don't want to get the wrong end attached, as in you want to make sure you've got a negative and a positive in your clasp. If you find you've got 2 negatives, it's not going to close. So you're going to have 3 clasps in your kit. Make sure you just have one of them out, because that would be very disappointing. So the other half of the clasp, its matching pair is going to go onto the end, and then I'm adding on those 3 seed beads again. I will move my work so you can see it a little bit better. So 3 seed beads, clasp 3 seed beads, and then I'm going to go through the seed beads again and do a half hitch knot. So I'm going to bring it back through where I've exited. So along that little path where I made that little loop, but I'm not going to go through the loop, just going to go through some of the seed beads. And as I do, I'll form that little loop again on the other end of the clasp. So you can do your half hitch knots anywhere you like along this thread path. Just going to bring my needle back through there because I don't want to catch that part. So all I'm going to do my half hitch knot is I'm going to travel along. Oh, I did come out the wrong place. Okay. I'm just going to travel along the thread. Let me just, yeah, okay. So you can see I've just added that little loop onto the bottom. So to do a half hitch knot, I'm going to come out wherever, and I'm just going to go underneath and kind of catch that thread. So I'm going to be making a loop. So see if I can do it picking it up so you can see. Probably not, needs to be down on the table. So I'm just going to catch the thread that the seed beads is kind of running through, and that will make a tiny little loop. And then I'm just going to go back through that loop, pull it down a little bit more. Oh, I've made hard work out of that. I will do it on the desk. So I'm just going to go through that loop that I've caught that thread. See? Make sure I'm not catching those or the beads. Just caught over that one, so I'm just going to loosen that up a little bit. And then just keep working back through and then do another one. I'm going to put it down on the table because I've caught over that seed bead. I'm going to do it properly, even though this won't be a bracelet when I finish anyway, because it's too small. Oh. All it is when I've done the half hitch knot, it's just caught around that seed bead. And I just want it to sit where the threads come out. So if you haven't got long nails, just catch it with your needle and put it back where it needs to be. Okay, so I'm just going to run along through the seed beads. And then I'll just do another one. And I'm just going to keep working back along my thread path and going back through that clasp. So that's why I want to start off with like a full arm span, a full meter, even though I'm not going to use all of that thread. I will be able to just tighten up my bracelet where I need it if it's slightly moved away, which it has here. And then I can also ensure that that clasp is nice and firm as well. So I'm not going back through the loops of those extra 3, just going through the main wiggly section of seed beads in the centre. Tell you what, always the way, isn't it? It just doesn't ever go quite to plan when you're live under the camera. You don't have to do loads of half hitch knots, but I'd like to do another one just to show you that it's not as complicated as I'm making it look. It's because my thread keeps tangling, so I'm going through the seed beads, just catching the thread in the middle. Why are you curling so much? Bringing it through the loop. And then it will just catch in between and you won't see it. So I work all the way back down through the body of the seed beads in the centre, and then you can go around that clasp again, and then you can work up the other side if you want with the pearls, just to add a little bit of tension to it. And then all you'll need to do is just cut off when you're finished. You've all gone very quiet. Are you all concentrating with me, thinking like, what you doing? What are you doing there? Okay, so you're just going to work all the way back up the bracelet. Back towards the clasp. You'll see it already kind of connects to itself as you're doing that. And then when you've got round, tighten up the clasp, come back down. You can do another half hitch knot and just trim off if you like. So we've got 4 lovely bracelets for you to choose from today. We've got the teal, which is this one here. We've got the wisteria. Oh, they're all attaching together. Ooh. There you go. Make a big long necklace. I can't remember who was asking, saying, would you add 2? You could do if you wanted to add the extra seed beads in. And so you could also add your seed beads in if you wanted to add those extra 3 onto that bit. You could do as well. Oh, you've not gone quiet. I've just not scrolled down. Camille says, love Toho, use some at the weekend. Oh, thank you so much, Phoenix. That's dead sweet of you. I don't realise it was Wednesday. I thought it was Monday. I've got no clue what day we're on. Susan says I'm doing fab. Thank you so much. Phoenix is laughing, saying we all know how much you love a needle and thread. This is what I wanted to make sure you were doing. You know, when I was saying about making sure you've got the right part of your clasp on, you can see there they're repelling each other. So just make sure when you get your kit of 3 that you are attaching the right. Ooh. Multi-buy and mix your colours. They look lovely together. Ooh. I'm just playing now. So you can see we've got 4 gorgeous colours on the website. I'll take you back over again so you can see. Today is the Samira bracelet. They are individually, well, they're all the same price, whichever colour you get. £5.50, making 3 bracelets up in your kit. You just need to add a needle and thread. My not so long a nemesis. I'm getting better. So we've got ivory, olive, turquoise and wisteria for you to choose from. Thank you, Susan. Sheila, thank you. She says, I love watching you, Natalie, as you explain everything so well. Yes, Mina Frank was back in school yesterday. I just forgot how quick the day goes. Literally drop him off and it's time to pick him up again. I got quite a bit of planning done. I am going back to the wonderful Totally Beads warehouse on Friday. So I'll be travelling down in the morning by train and hopefully we'll get there not too late, late afternoon. Definitely won't be the evening. The trains are going to be dead smooth. Hopefully the weather will improve. And then I'm going to be putting lots of project ideas together. I'm not going to put all these together, but I've got about 140 ideas, which technically would be a full year's worth of stuff, but I'm never going to put all that together. It's just to kind of have a little bit of like a mood board, really, of things and projects that, what materials might work for different things. So I've been slogging away at that, but the day just goes so quickly. And Phoenix, I hope you have a really lovely, lovely day. She says, I'm doing the batch cooking alone today. So she's gonna go and I think you're gonna walk your dog. Is that true? Anastasia's asking, what cookies are you making? Is that what you're doing? You're making cookies? Barbie's belt, says Camille, it's my tiny little bracelet. I've not cut my thread off yet. Well, yeah, I don't know what else you could do with a teeny. Jan, thank you so much, says very pretty project. Drop your needle to unwind it. Carol, yes, okay. Okay, well, my needle's come off, yeah, but you're quite right. These are the tips that I need and we might all need. So if I've dropped my needle, it would take all the curl and the kink out of it and stop me getting in a tangle. Thanks, Carol. Top tip. You'll need to untangle your thread like Kitty does by dangling the needle. See, I need these tips. Catherine says it's lovely wee bracelet. Thank you, Natalie. You're welcome. Anastasia says, Natalie, yes. because I have never done something like this before. Well, me neither. Lisa's saying good morning. She's so late she's going to re-watch. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Tracy loves it too. Oh, there's loads of comments I missed. Sorry. Alison says it was so long since I had the time to watch a live demo and just love watching. Thanks, Alison. Anastasia's saying thank you. Susan's saying thank you so much for the tutorial. Great job. Thank you. Alison saying thank you. Judith saying that they're lovely. Camille says they're lovely too. And Tracy saying use this as a centre for the necklace. You could absolutely do that, yeah. I've got a tiny bit, but you could bead just straight stringing and use another magnetic clasp and just have that in the centre if you wanted. It's a shame to waste it, isn't it? But I also think you could do it where you've got all your beads sitting on the inside. I think that might look nice, you know, instead of doing the wibbly wobbly. You play about with it, you do whatever you want, and if you make something, whether it's using similar components, the same design, something completely different, do share it if you can on the handmade page. I love to see what it is that you create, and thank you for making along with us, Rachel. You're most welcome. So I'm not going to be with you on Friday, which is very, very odd, but I will be back with you on Monday, and I'll be back with you from Kitty's house on Monday, so wish me luck with that, because the technology there is even more confusing than it is this way. I hope you can join me. I'm not too sure what I'm doing. I think I'm going to be doing a planet pendant theme with you, with gemstones and a bit of wire, but who knows what might happen over the weekend. It might all change. I hope you all